Hi everyone, this is the National Master Alessandro Santagati. In this video we will see a game about the semi-final of the World Cup 2015 between the Grandmaster Anish Giri against Peter Svidler. Giri from Netherlands against Svidler from Russia. Giri played e4 and Black played e5, Knight f3, Knight c6, Bishop b5. So the game was a real opus, in which Black played h6, Bishop a4. These moves are very common and not so important to spend more time about it, so we can go forward. Knight f6 and now castle, Bishop e7, Rook e1, and after that b5. b3 is forced, and after that castle. In this kind of position, the common idea is play on the center and push on d4, but push on d4 is useful. Play c3 to help this push. After this move c3, there are two common moves, or d6, the move played by Svidler, or the move d5, the martial attack, very sharp variation. The Black decide to play d6, and after that h3. The move h3 is very important. The idea is take the square g4 and avoid move like bishop g4, because for example if you play d4 immediately, can be possible bishop g4, and it can be a problem because if the Black can pin the knight, can make pressure on d4, so it can be a problem. So the idea about h3 is this, and for this reason Giri played h3 now. So h3, and now after that bishop b7, and now d4. Yeah, bishop b7, because if this diagonal is not good for this bishop, the Black can find another diagonal and can be good on b7. So now d4 to attack the center, and now rook e8. The idea is make pressure against d4, because when the Black one can take and make pressure on e4 with the rook and bishop, for example. Knight bd2, because the white has to develop the pieces, so the idea is bring this knight to f1 and maybe bring the bishop to g5, and now it takes d4. Usually in this kind of position the Black choose the move bishop f8, and after that, for example, if bishop c2, the Black can play g6 and try to bring this bishop on g7. Okay, but Svidler take immediately on d4, so c takes d4, e takes d4, and after that c takes d4. And another knight move, knight d7. The idea is bring this bishop on f6 to attack the pawn on this diagonal, and after that bring the knight to a5 and c5 to make pressure, very strong pressure against the pawn d4. So now knight f1, knight a5, the bishop is under attack, and the white played bishop c2, and after that bishop f6. The bishop can make pressure in this diagonal, so now the white played rook b1, and now c5. White move d5. The idea is block the center to make an attack on the king side, and after that the Black has to play an important move. The move is knight c4. Why is important to move this knight immediately? Because if the Black play a different move, for example, we can imagine knight e5 to do an example. After that it's possible trade, and after that play b3, and when the white play b3, the knight is without squares, and this can be a problem for Black. So it's important for Black bring this knight in the game as soon as possible, and it's important to play immediately knight c4. So now b3, and now knight e5, knight h2. Another important move, because in this position if the white has the idea to attack, the white needs pieces to attack, so it's not a good idea to trade the pieces without a reason. So the white played knight h2 with the idea to play f4 and attack in this way. the black played knight g6, and now probably f4 is not the bad move, because if f4, for example, is possible bishop c3, and the rook has now blue squares, so it can be a problem because the white is forced to trade the bishops, and it's not a good idea. So now f4 doesn't work for this reason, but it's clear. If the black play, for example, rook c8, after that we can think about f4. Now this move is playable. Okay, so knight g6, and now knight to g3, because the white has to bring pieces on the king side to attack. And now, very important move, bishop to c8, because in this kind of position now it's important to take the square f5 and the square g4, because it can be possible is knight g4, is knight f5 to attack, and bishop c8, so it's important for this reason. Also because on b7 the bishop doesn't help because the diagonal is completely blocked at this time. And now a strange move, rook f1. Why this move now? The Giri idea is that the white want to play knight g4, but if the white move knight g4 immediately, after that is possible bishop c3, and the white has to move the rook. But after rook f1, the idea is knight g4, because with bishop c3, the black doesn't take a time. So for example, we can imagine that the black can do a move. For example, we can imagine rook b8 at this time, or maybe a5, and if a move like this, there is knight g4, and after bishop c3 can be possible knight d2, and now it's possible for white take this bishop, so it can be a problem for black. So rook f1 has this idea, and after that black played knight b6 to take the square g4, and after knight g4 the black can take on g4, h takes g4, and h6. h6 is important to avoid the push g5, so knight f5, and now knight e7, because this knight on f5 is very dangerous, so it's okay for black try to trade his knight, so knight e7 is a logical choice, and after that knight e3, because if for black is a good idea trade, probably it's not a good idea for white, so the white go back with the knight to e3, and the very interesting idea for white will be play g3, with the idea to move the king to g2 and then try to attack in the h file with rook h1. So a5, because the black has a counter attack on the queen side, the idea is play f1 and open the queen side, and now king g2, a4, and now b takes a4, knight takes queen d7, and after that an interesting move, queen d3. The idea is threaten this mate and force the black to move the knight, because now the black has to move knight d6 to avoid to block the diagonal, and after that it's possible for white to move again knight f5, and this knight on f5 is important to make pressure against the castle. The black tried to take on a4, so the black take on a4, and after that this knight can go to c3, a very important square for this knight. So now the black knight can be very dangerous, and I think it's a key point for the game between Giri and Svidler, because the question is take or not to take the knight. I think it's important for white don't take the knight now and try to attack with the queen f3, for example, to make more pressure, because in this way the white can threaten to take on h6 and take the bishop. And to the next example, if queen d8 to defend, you can try also a move like bishop h6 maybe, so you can try to sacrifice, you can make a very strong pressure against it. But okay, in the game the Giri takes on a4, and this gives a good play of black, because now the black has a very good counter attack on the queen side, and after rook h1, the black can play again knight e7, now there isn't the attack on H7 and G5. The white tried to open, the black can take, and after that 93. The white idea is try to make pressure and try to make important threats with this plan, but is not the white has not the time to do that. And after rook takes a2 is impossible queen d1, because after that the black can simply play knight g6, and after queen h5 is possible a simple move rook takes c4, because no important threats for black, because after that check the black can simply go to f8 and now the king is completely safe, so no problem for black. So this plan doesn't work, and the white play bishop d2. I think the game is very strong for black, and knight g6. The black can improve his pieces, and the white try knight f5, but after knight e5, queen e2, and g6, now the position is completely lost. In the game, white played knight h6, king g7. Now we are very close to the 40 move, so the Svidler played the same move to go in the move 40, and after that think with time. So after that Svidler can take the knight, and after queen h5, knight g6, and now no threat, so the black is up a piece. The black has two important pass pawns in the C and B file, so now the game is completely lost. A very interesting idea could be after g6, bishop takes g5. Very interesting, but the black can win, because if rook takes c2, bishop takes f6, and now it's very interesting because the white is threatening checkmate, and to avoid the mate, the black need to take or the bishop or the rook. And how it's possible? The first move maybe is not hard. Rook takes f2, and okay, if the white takes, it's easy because there is the fork, and it's possible to take the bishop on f6. So now the black is winning. But what would happen if the white doesn't take? So white play king g2. There is a very nice move for black. The only move to win is rook h2, because in this way the white is forced to take or with the rook or with the king. If take with the king, there is knight g4 check, and can take the bishop, and if take with the rook, there is knight f3 check, and it's possible to take the rook. So the black is winning, but a very nice idea this. Okay, so Svidler won a very nice game, and he got the final. For this video is all. Thank you for the attention. See you for the next. Bye. Remember to follow me on social networks and share the video with your friends. Thanks.